Growing up, I literally got the worst grades in school. The best grade I ever got was in PE, physical education, obviously, and I got a few A's in that, over the years. But every other subject, especially your reading and your writing, I'd get D's and F's, or we didn't really call it D's and F's, but we had certain numbers, and that would actually equal a D or an F in the old days. But the point being is, I was literally illiterate. I couldn't comprehend words. I was always in the dumb group. When we'd have like these reading groups and there'd be like 3 different groups, and every single time without fail, I was in the dumb group for like kids with learning disabilities. And I wasn't diagnosed with a learning disability or ADHD or any of these things. But it's just because, one, I saw myself as extremely dumb. My self-image was tainted. I had a low self-esteem. I didn't feel good about myself because of all this positive reinforcement of being, you could call it negative reinforcement, of being the dumb guy, the dumb kid that couldn't comprehend. I'd get home after school and I'd just feel this kind of shame, this guilt, because, you'd have to fill in your reading diary when you got home, and I didn't want to read because I felt I couldn't read, and I got drilled down my throat. You need to be able to comprehend. You need to be able to comprehend. So every time I'd read to my parents or read to a school teacher when I was a kid, I'd read the words and it would take me a while. But then when they said, so what's this about? Like, what's this chapter about? And I couldn't even tell them what the first page was about. So why am I even telling you this? Well, fast forward to the present day. This is not a flex or a brag or any of that. Like, it's just not. But I can sit through a book for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and fully be immersed in the experience and fully enjoy, fully connect with the author. It's almost like I'm having a conversation with the author. And it was never like this, man. I absolutely struggled. I couldn't comprehend to save my life. But as I got into reading and had this burning desire, had this passion to learn more, I wanted to learn about female nature, the interpersonal dynamics between men and women. I wanted to learn more about masculinity. I wanted to learn more about nutrition, about training, about entrepreneurship, money making, all these kind of things, psychology, philosophy. And that intense passion to learn about those subjects is what kind of granted me the, what would you call it? The grit to get through the reading. I can't read well now, but if I keep practicing, and at the start, it was just practicing. I really couldn't comprehend much. And it was just a little bit at a time. It was maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And then I'd build it up slowly. I wasn't trying to get, 48 laws of power and just read it for 6 hours straight. Oh, law 23, you can do this, and, I'm going to manipulate everyone, everyone's going to bend to my will. Like, I wasn't doing that. 10 minutes. And the first book I actually read on, like, self-development that got me into this stuff was, what's the book called? It's by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And that I think it's the second chapter, he talks about having a burning desire. And that not only helped me with my self-improvement goals and fitness goals and stuff like that, but it helped me a lot with continuing to read and continuing to get better, because I knew if I just had a burning desire to get better at reading, to comprehend more, to become more articulate, because when you read, you learn better words to use, better vocabulary. You learn how to say words and sentences in a coherent and concise way instead of blabbering on. Like, if you were to look at my older videos, I do blabber on a lot, right? It's not too cohesive, let's just say that, or coherent, sorry. But yeah, man. Also, another thing that helped me dramatically with reading that I did later on was actually mindfulness meditation. And yes, it has many other benefits like tranquility, peace, serenity. You just feel a lot better. But also, mindfulness meditation, because you're focusing on one thing, which is your breath, it trains your concentration too. So when, you start reading, and even if you can comprehend, most people, when they read the first sentence, the first few paragraphs, their mind will wander immediately. So it doesn't even matter how good you are at comprehending. If your mind wanders, right, and I'm just illustrating, pretending I'm reading a book, if your mind wanders when you're trying to follow the next sentence, you're never going to comprehend anything because your mind cannot focus. And we can, we can chalk this up to TikTok. We can thank YouTube Shorts. We can thank, all this short form content. But ultimately speaking, it is our fault as the individual. And I'm not going to, tell you that you should do this and you should do that. But man, quit those short form apps. There's nothing positive or beneficial about short form. If you're going to watch content, make sure it's long form, make sure it's podcast, make sure it's actually adding value to your life. But that's a side tangent. The bottom line is, man, if you cannot concentrate on what you're reading, you're never going to comprehend it because your mind's always going to wander, and you're never going to extract the true value you can from a book. So I hope this helps, man. This is what I did, going from a completely illiterate and I couldn't even comprehend, the first paragraph, to reading books for up to 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, enjoying the whole process. Now, I'm not saying you have to read books for 2, 3, 4 hours, not at all, but it just goes to show, man, that if I can go from being in the dumb group with kids with learning disabilities to reading for 2, 3 hours at a time, then you certainly can, brother. I've got full faith in you. Take care, bro. The newsletter's in the description as well as the coaching. Have a good day.